What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm giving you my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I had said I would do this in my last Q&A, and I am doing it today. So yes, there's just so many great movies out there. There's just so many great movies out there. So this list was actually quite hard to make because it's hard to narrow your favorite movies down to the top 10 because there's just so many great movies out there. But I managed to narrow them down to the top 10, and there's a lot that I felt disappointed leaving out, but it came down to the top 10, and I have a list for you guys, so let's get started. At number 10 here, we have Jaws. Jaws is just a great movie. I mean, there's just barely anything flawed with this movie. This movie is just so great, and it really changed the way films are made. I mean, Jaws, like, just all the characters, all this, like, just the entire story, just works so well together, especially the Jaw aspect. Jaws is just so awesome, and I love the slow reveal to him instead of them just showing him all the time. They do a slow reveal, you don't see much of him, which just adds to the suspense of this movie. Jaws is just a great movie where all the characters work very well together. Brody is awesome, and yeah, I think everything about this movie is just really fun and enjoyable, and I really like Jaws. Yes, it's just a great movie, and the plot is just so good, and just everything about it is just it works. It just works. This movie just works. The plot, the setting, the characters, and everything about it is just so great. At number 9, we have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is just a great movie. I mean, yeah. I just love Temple of Doom. I think it's just a great sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I like how it tried something different. It's always great to see that in second installments and sequels. Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom did something different. It went darker, which was very nice to see. I mean, I just think it's a really cool movie. I mean, sure, it may not be as good as Raiders, nowhere near, but it just works. It's just a fun adventure, and everything about it is just so cool. It's pretty violent, which I like. I mean, I like that aspect about it. And yeah, Temple of Doom. It's just such a great movie. It's fun to watch. I mean, Mola Ram is pretty hilarious villain, and yes, I just like how it tried something different. I think all the characters are great. Okay, maybe Willie. Okay, she's not the best. Short Round is, not the best. But Indiana Jones and most of the other characters besides them, Indiana Jones is freaking amazing in this movie. Indiana Jones just is awesome. Harrison Ford does it again, and yeah, like especially the beginning in Shanghai is just great, and then there's so much action at the end, and this whole movie is just a fun thrill ride. So I love Temple of Doom. At number 8, we have Goldfinger. Goldfinger is the third James Bond movie, and it's just great. Goldfinger just has such an amazing plot, with obviously Goldfinger, obviously doing a raid on Fort Knox, and yeah, the plot is just so good. Like, it just tried something different with Bond, and I don't know if Bond will ever get as good as a plot as Goldfinger, because I think Goldfinger is probably the best Bond plot. It's just so great. And although I'm not a huge fan of the main villain Goldfinger, his henchman Oddjob just completely makes up for the fact that Goldfinger may not be my favorite villain. Oddjob is just easily my favorite Bond henchman. Like, Oddjob is just so cool. Like, he's just silent. He has this hat, his metal hat. He's just such a cool and fun like henchman, of course. Yeah, Oddjob is just so awesome, and I love him as a character. And James Bond, Sean Connery, just does a great job. I mean, this is easily, in my opinion, Sean Connery's best performance, and probably the best performance out of any Bond film. It's just so great. And I think Goldfinger is the best Bond film. Things change, but I think Goldfinger has become my favorite. Like, over time, it's just, I really appreciated the movie. It really changed Bond into the kind of modernish Bond movies. So yes, Goldfinger, just the plot, the characters, and just everything about it is just so cool. At number 7, we have Back to the Future. Back to the Future is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. I just love Back to the Future. I mean, the just the whole movie is so great. I mean, with obviously Doc Brown, obviously in his time machine, Marty goes back in time. Just everything about it, everything about the plot, and how the time travel aspect is so great. Everything about this movie just works. Yeah, it just really does. It's just such a fun movie to watch. You can just watch it and have so much fun with it. I mean, just the whole entire plot is great in the time travel, and it's just so fun. Marty is a great character, Doc as well, and just the whole ending of the movie is so great. Because I mean, you guys know. I mean, just the whole thing with Marty going back to 1985 with the clock tower thing, just such a cool and unique thing to do to get back to 1985, of course, from obviously from 1955, and the movie is just so great and fun to watch. And I mean, Biff is obviously great, and I think all the characters are great, and the whole time travel aspect is just great, and it's really a fun movie to watch. At number 6 here, we have Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 2 is just a fantastic movie. I love Terminator 2. It's just always been, like, just a great movie, in my opinion. Terminator 2, it's just such a great movie. I mean, like, it's just the little things that make this movie so great. Like Terminator, obviously, he's good in this movie, and I think the twist to it is very cool. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is good in this movie, and the twist to that is very cool. And yeah, just him like going from, obviously being he just has human qualities throughout the movie. He changes, and it's just so great seeing like John Connor just changing his character into a more human-like father-like character to John Connor. So yes, this movie just works so well. The plot, obviously, they're trying to alter history, so obviously Judgment Day doesn't happen. It's a shame Rise of the Machines had to mess up with that, because I think this would have been the perfect ending, just because I mean, if you think about it, at the end, like all the Terminators and machines and everything, they're gone. But apparently, Rise of the Machines, But still, this movie is just so great. The plot is just so good. All the characters just work so well together, and they just really help this movie work. So Terminator 2 Judgment Day is awesome. At number 5, we have Star Wars A New Hope, or Star Wars. I'm calling it Star Wars because that was the original name. But yeah, Star Wars is just such a great movie. I mean, obviously, Star Wars is like one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. If not my favorite movie franchise, it really competes with Indiana Jones. But yeah, Star Wars is just so great. I mean, it really just started the Star Wars series just perfectly. I mean, Han Solo is so badass in this movie, and it's honestly my favorite portrayal of Han Solo. Just all the actors, just everything about this movie is just a fun thrill ride. And this nice space adventure. It's just really a nice story. The Death Star and all the tension built up to the final like climax of the movie is just so great, and I just love Star Wars. This movie changed movies forever, and Star Wars is just amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've already explained everything about like Star Wars before, and yeah, I mean, I don't even know if there's anything more to say. Star Wars is just freaking amazing. At number 4 here we have Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi used to be like my favorite Star Wars movie. Over time it's dropped it back just by one. But Return of the Jedi is just still so awesome. I just love this movie. This movie is just fun. This is like one of the funnest Star Wars movies. It's a nice adventure like the first Star Wars movie. This movie is just so fun to watch. I mean, Ewoks I don't really mind. I mean, the whole planet of Endor is so cool, and I love how like the last like half of the movie is just complete action. I mean, it's just so awesome. And yes, I just think this movie is so great. It's just a really fun thrill ride, and all the characters. I mean, well, Han Solo, you know, Harrison Ford looked bored by this movie, but I mean, the rest of the characters, especially Luke, are just so great. Probably this in this movie is probably my favorite portrayal of Luke. Luke is just so great in this movie, and yeah. I think Return of the Jedi is just such a great movie. It's always been my favorite. Like it used to be my favorite Star Wars movie, and it's always been. Obviously, things have changed, but like I have like a lot of nostalgia for this movie. This used to be like my stuff, and yeah, Return of the Jedi is just such a fun movie. At number three, we have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This movie is just so awesome. I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, Indiana Jones and his father, the relationship in this movie is just so well done. I mean, it's you guys know it's just so well done. Like, just seeing their character relations like progress throughout the movie is just so cool. And the whole plot of the Holy Grail is also very great. And this movie is just incredibly awesome. I just love Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I've explained this before. I've explained why I liked it. I mean, it used to be my favorite. Things change, of course. Things always change. But I still just love this movie. And all the action is great. I mean, this movie has a lot of action. And I just think the whole movie is just very well done. At number two, we have Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back is just incredible. This movie is just amazing. Empire Strikes Back is just it's everything you want from a Star Wars movie. It was completely different from the first movie while staying like Star Wars, which is exactly what I want from a Star Wars movie. This movie it just works so well. I mean, it's just completely different from the first movie, and it just tries something different, and I think it really paid off. The dark tone is great. I mean, the beginning on Hoth is just so cool, and especially the Battle of Hoth, and it really helps set the tone for the movie. And yeah, I think this movie is just so great. Empire Strikes Back is just amazing. I love this movie. It's just I mean, the characters all work together so well. Han Solo is very awesome in this movie. I mean, Harrison Ford actually looked like he gave a crap in this movie, and yeah. And we obviously have the final confrontation with Luke and Vader, and oh my God, is this so like it's just so awesome. It's easily like one of my favorite movie moments. It's Luke versus Vader, just incredible. Just the way it's done, like just the mood of it, how there's no music in the beginning, and then music starts to hit, and then Vader just toys with Luke. I mean, there's just so many things in this movie that are just so great, and the plot is just so cool. I mean, they're escaping the Empire, and the Empire are obviously after them, because obviously like at the beginning, because rebels are on the rebel base, or they have the Hoth base, you know. But yeah, this movie is just so great, and I just love it so much. So yeah. At number one, we of course have Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones movie, and easily the best one. I just love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, it's just everything I want from a movie. Everything. Just the adventure. Just the characters. I mean, the love interest. I mean, just a badass protagonist. Obviously being Indiana Jones, and just the adventure aspect is so cool. I mean, and the whole arc plot is just so great. I mean, obviously they need to stop the Nazis from getting this artifact, and the whole twist at the end is really cool. And yeah, I mean, this movie, I don't even know what there is more to say. I mean, this movie is just so great. I mean, just all the characters, the whole entire plot, and everything about this movie I don't even know how to explain this. It's just so great. I mean, this movie is easily my favorite movie of all time. I mean, Empire Strikes Back is close, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favorite movie of all time. It's just everything about it is so great. The plot, the adventure, the characters, and just everything. So yes, this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. My top 10 favorite movies of all time, of course I just gave you them. Yes, thanks for watching, and see you next time.